Hey YouTube, one of the Pokemon that I did catch this season was Galarian Articuno. So it's the second Galarian bird I have. I have already used Galarian Moltres. Galarian Moltres has not amazing, but it has some play. Galarian Articuno, as you see here at 573, has absolutely no play. And when I play with it, I was actually just like, this was actually more of a waste of dust than any other Pokemon I've built in Great League before. It is just so bad. I'm just going to quickly go over the stats and everything just to give you an example of why it's so bad compared to the other birds. So if you're looking for like one of these birds to actually play in GBL, I'll kind of go over why the other two birds are better and why Articuno is just not so good. So Articuno suffers, I think, from a few things. So the first thing is, I mean, the stat product, right? It's an attack heavy 134 with 108, 115 defense and stamina, and you feel every bit of that 108, 115. It is so glassy. And like I said, if you are going to be a glass cannon like this, you need to have good typing and amazing moveset. And so the typing is actually one of the worst things, the worst combos I've seen, because you are Psychic Flying, which makes you weak to Rock, Ice, Ghost, Electric, and Dark. And there's quite a lot of that in this meta, right? Everything has Icy Wind. Like everything seems to have Icy Wind. You got a lot of Rock users. You have a lot of Dark users. You have a lot of Ghosts. And Electrics are not super relevant, but like are around. So just a ton of weaknesses in the meta. And then you have to kind of dominate with your moveset because, again, terrible typing, terrible stats. And yes, you have Psycho Cut, which is a very fast charging move, right? 4.5 damage per, so it's like 9 per Psycho Cut, which is quite good. The problem is you only have 2 nukes. So you have to try and use, I mean, you have Ancient Power, but that's 45 over 60, 1.33. It's not really worth using. I think it's worth running double nukes on this thing. 55 for 156, Brave Bird, 2.84, and a 2.22, 65, 144 for Future Sight. So 2 really strong charge moves. But the problem is, because you're so glassy, even with a 9 energy Psycho Cut, it still takes... what's that? 7 and then 8 to get to the Brave Bird and Future Sight, which is quite a lot for a Pokemon that can't really take any moves. So it was just not a good Pokemon. You'll even see you'll see in one of these battles, I had I was against like 2 things weak to flying with a shield advantage, and I still almost lost. It's just it's just not good. Moltres I've used before. As you can see here with that stat product, right? Lower attack, but also way higher defense, way higher stamina. Again, if you watched my video that I put out earlier last week about what I look for Pokemon, I said 2,000 overall stat products is kind of where you want to look for. So 1931, pretty close. Dark Flying, again, not an amazing typing, not bad typing. That Flying and Dark offset, right? So, I mean, like, Dark, you're weak to fighting, but your Flying offsets that, so you're not weak to fighting there, but you still do have the Ice and Electric and Rock and Fairy, so it's not bad. Like, I think there's probably more Dark and Ghost than there are Fairies in the meta right now, which makes it probably better. And then the moveset, right? You have now the boosted wing attack, fast move. I think it kind of struggles a little bit, and when I used it too, it was the same sort of situation where it just takes like a while to get to these movesets. Payback Brave Bird. Again, Ancient Power you can run, but I probably wouldn't. But with that extra bulk, you can actually like live moves that you really can't do with the Moltres. The Galarian Zapdos I don't have yet. It is very attack heavy, right? So very similar stat product, almost identical stat product to the Articuno, right? So what's the trade-off here? Your typing is arguably the same, right? You still got all those flying weaknesses in Ice and Electric. You pick up a couple others with the fighting, Fairy, Flying, and Psychic. So there's quite a lot of weaknesses here. So you better have a good moveset. And the moveset is way better. So you have Counter, which again is one of the best fast moves in the game. So you have one of the best fast moves in the game. But you also have that close combat. So everything has Brave Bird, right? All 3 of these have Brave Bird, which is great. But again, consider the other move on the Articuno was a 65 energy move for a nuke. Now you got a 45 energy move for a nuke, right? So a 2.67 damage per energy at a 45 move, which makes this way better. If you're going to have this stat product, this is what you want, right? You want your nuke move to be like 45 energy. 55 is not terrible. but it's not great for something that's 6 classy. But 45, that's the kind of sweet spot. So I put together 3 Pokemon that I had no Pokemon built up. So I built up Articuno because I'm like, let's just test it out. Not worth it. And then there's these other 2 that I felt like they were just worth building up because my Wiggly in the Great League was a terrible IV. It was like 15, 12 something. So I was like, 0, 12, 15. It makes sense just to build this up. I'll probably use this anyways as a good like IV one. And then Tentacruel, I have not built up a Shadow Tentacruel yet, so I wanted to see it in action. So that is what we are going to do. We are going to look at tons of losses coming out of this. Again, team doesn't make sense. Steel kills this team. You have like nothing to throw at Steel. So there's a lot of these Steel matchups where it's just like, okay, I'm going to lose here. But again, it's not, I don't really care about the team comp. I care about showcasing Articuno. So basically what I tried to do, and again, if you're using Articuno, especially with Future Sight Brave Bird, you need shields down, which is very tough to do with a Charm user and a Shadow Tentacruel, which is very glassy in the Great League. So both of those are not like conducive to trying to get shields. Like you would need to get shields and not use shield yourself. So we'll go through these matchups. I'll barely talk about the matchups because again, you're just like, I'll talk about Articuno when it's when it's on the screen, just like about how it just struggled. But yeah, 2 more weeks and then league turnover. Let me know again, please submit some battles. Someone commented below, Whiscash, this is the perfect example of how glassy this Pokemon is. Yes, it's a Shadow Scald, but it's a Shadow Scald which basically one-shots you with resisted mud shots that are now going to like mud-shot me down. Like, come on. Anyways, it's a lot of this. It was a very, very, very frustrating Pokemon to use. Yeah, so please send me your battles. I know someone commented and they hit me up on Twitter to send their battles. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm going to try looking them today to film for Monday morning. And I believe they had Shuckle on their team. So that'd be cool. But yeah, feel free to send me any Great League or Little Cup. And look how much those charms are doing. Oh my god. So yeah, feel free to send me any battles. I'll definitely showcase them. If not, again, this is like the perfect week to just put out like 1 video a week. And if I don't have any submitted battles, I'll just kind of think of what other videos for my morning videos. But morning video, short in the afternoon, the entire week. We'll go a little harder next week because it's open all those leagues and I already have like 1 Ultra League banked from earlier in the season. So we'll have more videos next week, but this week it'll just be like a 1 video in the morning, short in the afternoon. Maybe in these leagues, if you guys submit, maybe just random, whatever I want to talk about sort of thing. Tentacruel was an interesting one. Pretty glassy. Let me see the stat products on Tentacruel in the Great League. It seemed very glassy, but man, the Shadow version like really freaking hit. Like you feel those poison jabs. So PV Poke says it's ranked 220. It is recommending Acid Spray over Scald. Stat product, again, great for the great stat product overall. 110 attack, 139 defense, 132 stamina, 2033, right? So we're right in that sweet spot. Obviously you take down 20% of your defense, minus 20 defense because of the Shadow. So that's why it feels like everything's hitting way harder. Let me actually just go to the normal Tentacruels for the stats of the damage here. But yeah, Poison Jab's obviously like a hard-hitting move. Okay, energy generation. Scald, again, one of the best moves in the game right now with that 50% chance of lowering. I ran Blizzard, and they recommend Acid Spray. So the trade-off of these 2 moves is, if you're going to use the Shadow, I guess it makes sense why you would use Acid Spray, right? Because the damage on the Shadow Poison Jabs is so much, and Acid Spray is a cheaper move. It's only 45 energy compared to Blizzard, which is 75, right? And 45 Acid Spray is quicker than the Scald of 50. So if you, one, potentially a bait move. Two, a move that lowers your opponent's defense times 2, and then you can get in there with a shadow damage bonus. I think it makes sense to run Acid Spray probably in the Great League. Um, Obviously, Blizzard gives you that coverage move, um, but I can see the argument for Acid Spray. I think in Ultra League, you probably would still... A lot of people use Tentacruel as a safe swap, and I think you probably want to run Blizzard in case you see stuff like Giratina in the Ultra League. So if you're going to use the Shadow or non-Shadow in the Ultra League, I would use Blizzard as opposed to Acid Spray, but I get the allure of Acid Spray for when you have a Shadow Pokemon that's just doing a ton of damage. Again, this team's double weak to Electric. Come in here, just like whatever. Let me know if you... Yeah, so this is going up Sunday. I've seen obviously a lot of people in LA right now. I still... Again, I can't fault these people for going to this event, right? Everyone has their own value of what Pokemon Go means to them, what the community means to them, the value they see in the ticket and stuff like that. It's the same thing when I see like all the same people doing the tours of the Play Pokemon Championship. I'm just like, this is probably the one where I should sweep with this Pokemon, and it just, I think I maybe do, but it's like shield advantage. This will do super effective. That Icy Wind like almost takes me out, so I got a Brave Bird before they take me out here. And then hope I don't get poisoned down or mud shot down. Hope I don't get mud shot down. Okay, then I'll just let Tentacruel sweep. Yeah, so I see a lot of people in LA right now. I know this event is coming global next week, I believe. So I'll cover maybe a bit of it, the global aspects of what to hunt this week sometime. But yeah, the people who go to these, again, I'm in a way, way, way different point in my life compared to a lot of these other people who are traveling, right? A lot of these people are early to mid 20s. If they have a partner, they most likely don't have kids. I don't know what most of them do for jobs, right? But again, what year is it? I'm a 36-year-old, 2 young kids, full-time job, content creator plus on the side. So just like financially it doesn't make sense. Time-wise, it doesn't make sense for me to travel to all these events. And so when I see people like traveling constantly, like some people, I get the content creators because they make content and get paid for it. But the other people who travel to all these events just for like the love of the game, who are spending between flights and hotels, and it's not just like a one-off Sinnoh tour. Like I could justify. I really wanted to go to New York last year for the Go Fest. It is like a 6-hour drive from where I live, so I could just drive there. But the amount of money and time these people spend on the game is incredible to me. And I get it. It's a different lifestyle. It's what they value, right? So I cannot say whether the value makes sense or not from their perspective, right? Because for them, they may just budget 5,000-10,000+ a year for Pokemon Go because like this communities are their friends. They love the game, stuff like that. But man, I can never spend that much money on like a game. But again, to each their own. Anyways, for those of you who are there, I hope you are having fun. And we'll get the global aspect of it next week when it comes out here. I picked the Dialga one not even because of the rewards that are accompanying with it, more so that I already have a Hundo Palkia and I do not have a Hundo Dialga. That's the main reason I chose it. Maybe this is the one with shield advantage and energy advantage here. So super effective Future Sight. Goodbye. Annihilate. I gotta shield everything up, and I think I do outpace, but like these counters are still like resisted counters are gonna take me down to like the red zone, which is crazy. Yeah, that is it. I mean, that's not it. I have 3 minutes of this battle to go, but yay, great sweep, Articuno. You swept with the shield advantage 2 Pokemon weak to Psychic and Flying. Barely. I think that's it. Off the top of my mind, what I wanted to ramble about today. I did provide value at the beginning with the analysis of the birds. There's no value to add with these battles. So just train a like stream of consciousness type thing right now. Yeah. A lot of I you I wouldn't build. I think Annihilate is probably safe to build because I think it's accurately built right now. I don't think they'll nerf anything. I think it was like a perfect thing. I think it's got like good stat product, good typing, good movesets, but not overpowering movesets. So I think it's like a perfect Pokemon release. Like this is one of the first ones they've actually released from like this was like very, very well done. I think if you want to build it like now for the last 2 weeks, I think it's a very strong Pokemon to use, and I think it's pretty safe to build without having to worry about them nerfing it. Obviously, with 2 weeks left, and it's not even 2 weeks at this point because we'll get the news about the new season probably in a week and a half, probably when I'm at work, like always. So for the most part, I'm not building a Pokemon. I mean, I built up 3 here, but if I were you, unless you're trying to hit Legend and you can just take the dust loss and candy loss, for the most part at this point in the season, I'm just waiting for move updates. I don't have a pulse on what is going to change. I think Skull needs nerfing. I've said that multiple times. Will they buff Skull the one season and then nerf it the next? Maybe, or maybe they just try and bring out more counters. So like my early prediction is that they will try and they either nerf Scald or try and bring out more counters for Scald users. Because I think that's the only way that you can make those a little less strong than they are. Again, I don't love the meta. So how I would want to change the meta is like either nerf Scald or bring out some stuff to take care of like Whiscash and Poliwrath. It seems like the core of like Skarmory, Whiscash, Poliwrath, Annihilate, Lickitung is like everywhere right now, and it's very and Gligar to a certain extent. So like those are those are like the 6 that are everywhere. So the question is like, what do you buff or nerf to try to tackle that meta? I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping they make some good changes. Like I said, I think this meta really needs a shakeup right now. And I will bring you a Beyond the Hype analysis, going over all the move updates and what they mean for the Great League and Ultra League and Master League if there's some implications there, but mostly Great League. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good Sunday, and I will see you guys in the next one.